The EXO System, we started the project about 2 years ago.
Dave came to me a couple of years ago and he said we need to design a new binding system. The trend in the last few years has been to go to hard shell bindings.
We saw a lot of the high-end tournament skiers were using hard shell boots, and really the goal was to take those hard shell boots that these high-end tournament skiers were using and develop them for the masses.
The boot is a all-new revolutionary design. It's the first boot hard shell system on the market that actually is designed specifically for water skiing. Industry first, also industry first with a cam releasable system, a dual spring system. Hasn't even been done in the snow ski industry. And now we're doing it in the water ski industry, which we're ahead of the curve in that.
The magic of the system is really in the VRS binding, and that really centers on the heel piece. The heel piece was a lot of development. It's the release mechanism in the system, and this is really what we worked on long and hard in Austria, all those late nights and on the water, testing, making sure it was run through the rigors and made sure this thing rips. So when you're skiing on this system, you're completely 100% locked in when you're skiing. There's no slop, there's no gray area, you're fully connected to the ski, you have instant feedback. When you get a little bit too far forward, maybe you start to go out the front or you hit a buoy, the system triggers. It flips the light switch and you're in the off position, full release from the ski. The second component of the VRS binding is the EXO frame. The EXO frame has a bunch of rocker associated with it. And what this does is allows us, we call it our free float design, allows the ski to flex true underneath it. The shells are really cool. That's the unique thing about it. We got to incorporate and design them from the ground up. We didn't have to use any inline skate parts. We didn't have to do anything like that. So the biggest thing is we got to build in this wide platform base. That does two things. One, it allows us to stand directly on the ski surface. And that's kind of the dream as a water skier, to stand on the ski surface because you have incredible feel. You're not losing any feedback pushing through aluminum plate. We created the base, 100% water ski specific. We also did the cuff. And the cuff is a really important part of any boot. And what every water skier is looking for is a cuff that allows for rearward motion, to be uninhibited. So we designed this cuff to move backwards very, very easily. This allows the skier to let the ski move out in front of them off the second wake. They're not hung up in any way. In forward flexion, the cuff moves very freely as well. But what we did is we built in a mechanical stop. So the back of the shell and the inside of the cuff actually physically come together and provide a mechanical stop. So when you're moving forward in your flex range, it stops and protects your ankle, triggers the system, and allows you to release.
I don't use a hard shell on my back, I just use a toe loop. And so me and Dave, we started talking like, hey, how can we get you to ski in a hard shell, but have it feel like a toe loop? So then we started messing around with maybe putting no cuff on the back or cutting the binding down just a little bit lower so it simulates the feel of having just a kicker on the back. And that's kind of where the idea came, to do a cut down version of the full front boot. So, what I find for me personally, I like to move around. And when I cut that back binding down, I had that movement back. That it simulated that feeling of having just a toe loop in the back.
EXO, simply is a two-part EXO system. And EXO is a structural rigid shell, and that is the boot portion of the design. System is a bunch of components working together for a unified whole, and that's really what this does. This is a true system. The binding and the boots work together to create true flexing ski, to create a proper release, and to create a functioning system that just skis awesome on the water.